Give it up for Sean Conway!
Hey Milwaukee, how we all going? We going good? Yeah, this is the first time in Milwaukee, so I'm loving the city, man. There's, anyone here been to Australia? It's not a classroom, bro. You can just talk to me. You been to Australia? Where'd you go? What'd you think?
It was very hot.
Well, compared to here, this is like fucking Eskimo territory. This is the coldest place on earth I've been to. No, it's weird. Like, I love America. Where are the single ladies at? Alright, fuck, I'm not proposing. I'm just That's a lie I am. I'm trying to propose. This is my audition tape for 90 Day Fiancé. So watch yourself, lady. Oh, you're single? Well, you better watch yourself, lady. What about gay dudes? I'm not judgmental. I'll marry a gay dude if he gets me over here. I'm looking for a green card. I love it over here, man. America is the best place on earth, man. But the one thing I don't like about America is their questions about Australians. So anyone here got questions about Australia, and I'll answer them now. You don't have to respond, I know what they are. No, I don't drink Fosters. Like, has anyone ever tried, do you guys sell Fosters? The bar? Yeah. Oh, thank fuck. It is the worst fucking beer. If they sold it, it would be on the shelf for the next 12 months. It is the worst beer, man. Like firefighters use it to put out blazes. Like no one touches the shit. Like it's that drink that we give to, it's that shitty product that we give to tourists, Like your frozen custard. Like no one touches it, it's disgusting. That's where I lost you. Get the fuck out. Custard should be warm, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's a little combination. Man. Australians are really picky about their beers, man. So whenever I'm in Milwaukee, I only drink Lakefront Brewery. The other question that Australians always get, it's not really a question, it's just what Americans tell Australians. It's like, I'd never go to Australia because all the animals there can eat you. Which is a fair thing to be afraid of, because like after watching the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, I had the same feelings about come to Milwaukee. Fucking applause break for serial killers. This is my sort of town. Now I can relate to you, Milwaukee, because I grew up in Perth, which I lived on the same street as one of the worst serial killers in Australian history. David and Catherine Burning. They used to live 3 houses down from my house. And I was 6 years old, and I used to watch him. He'd walk up and down the street, and he'd steal egg cartons out of people's bins. And I'm 6 years old thinking, oh fuck, David must be really into arts and crafts, And so one day I just went up and asked him, like, hey David, why do you steal egg cartons out of people's bins? And he was like, definitely not to soundproof my torture dungeon. Yeah, that's the right reaction. That is the most fucked up thing you can say to a 6-year-old. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part was a year later, the homicide squad raided his house, and it turned out David was using those egg cartons to soundproof his torture dungeon. I mean, killing people is one thing, but lying to a child, that's a real low dog move, I wasn't sure how the serial killer shit would go off the bat, but you guys are awesome. I love it. No, because I'm a weird dude, man. That's why I don't get focused into like serial killer stuff and that. Like I'm a weird dude. I used to get bullied a lot in high school. Anyone here get bullied in high school? Yeah? What about you, future wife? You get bullied in high school? No, I did. I got bullied in high school. My nickname in high school was Shit Sticks. Alright, fucking relax. Nah, Shit Sticks, because this one time this dude stuck a pen up his ass and threw it at me. Still to this day, I don't know how I'm the fucking weirdo in that story. It was wild time. Like that's why I'm kind of an angry person. Like I am. Like all you want to do when you get bullied is like fight people. And I'm not a violent person. And I found out that I'm not a violent person in my first MMA fight. Yeah, the MMA cage, literally the worst place on earth to find out that you don't have the killer instinct. You know, because I'm old. Like, does anyone here do MMA? All right, now I feel a bit tough. Yeah. No, it is. Like, anyone here do boxing or karate or anything? Well, there's an old saying with mixed martial arts is that there's no such thing as pretend fighting, and I was all about the pretend fighting. You know, like my favourite part was like picking the colour of my shorts, you know, giving myself a fight nickname. Yeah, Mr. Warm Milk, because I put suckers to sleep, you dig? Where I let myself down though was my intro song, because your intro song is meant to show how intimidating you are. And it's hard to convey how intimidating you are when you're walking out to Cardi B's wet ass pussy, you know what I mean? It really gives off the wrong message, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, like, I love my MMA part, because I'm a theatre kid, like, at heart, I'm a theatre kid, so like, my favourite part was like walking to the ring, waving at everyone like I'm Jackie Onassis. The worst part about my MMA fight was actually getting in the cage and taking headshots like I'm JFK in Texas. Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, he's our local hero. You fucking grown at that joke? Get the fuck out of here. I did that joke in Texas and they didn't even get the reference. The crazy thing was that this was my first professional fight. And I didn't realise it was my first professional fight because like the dude from Weight Watchers who was there to weigh us, like he just said we're going to weigh the first two professional fighters, and I'm looking around like everyone else, and it turned out it was me, because even at my fittest, I still look like a dude that got a stitch playing Xbox, you know, like, I'm a fat dude, is what I'm saying. And the dude I fought was like, do you guys have a big, like, biker problem here? Like, biker gangs and shit? What, are they in this room? Everyone's going, there's a lot of flannel in here, so it kind of gives me mixed messages. Like, are you a biker member? No? No, the dude behind us. Oh, you look more like Olivia Newton-John with that jacket. Yeah. Stand up and let everyone get the reference. You do? Hey! Are you single? No. Forget you then. Yeah, I can't marry the chick that looks like Olivia Newton-John. I can't get a green card that way. We're still on. No, but the dude I fought, he was a genuine biker, and that was the only time I felt fear, because like I stepped on the scales and I weighed in at 250 pounds of like beers and hamburgers. He stepped on the scales at 250 pounds of like muscle and the spirit of his victims. You know, and the crazy thing was I still thought I was a chance of winning. You know, because I knew I had something that dude didn't have, which was an extensive knowledge of 1980s and 1990s action movies. Yeah, you know when the good guy gets punched in the face, and he touches his lip, looks at the blood, and does that scream that starts low and ends high that lets everyone know that he's fucking crazy? You know the one that... Wow! But this dude punched me in the face, and guess what he did? He continued to punch me in the face. Like for real, he just come out pow, pow, pow like he was Amber Heard or some shit. It was brutal. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta do something quick here. Like I just loaded up the biggest right hand of my life. I threw it from back here, loaded it up, threw it, and I landed right on his chin. And I knew I was in trouble because it hurt my finger. And I audibly said, ow. And I'm not afraid to admit it, Milwaukee, that was the most terrifying moment of my life. Because I'm just staring into his eyes as he slowly touched his lip. And then he loaded up the biggest right hand of his life. He threw it from back here, threw it, landed right on my chin, and then it just cut to black. It was brutal. Like, you guys see the last episode of The Sopranos? It was a lot like that. There was all pictures and then it just cut to black. And then when I woke up, all my friends were around me and they were all bitterly disappointed. It is, like, anyone here been knocked out? What about you? No, you been knocked out? Well, being knocked out is a lot like The Sopranos. Because even though it's been off the air for 10 years, people still bring it up in conversation. They're like, hey Sean, when you that guy that got knocked out in the first round? Yes, Richard. Thanks for bringing it up. Alright. Now you make me feel like a big pussy up here. I'm the only one that got knocked out. What about the older dudes? You guys would have biffed back in the day, right? No? What are you, like the youth minister? What's going on? Everybody stop fighting. You like bad boys?
I do.
Yeah, you watch yourself later. So I still get into fights, I do, but all my fights are all online. Like I'm a big troll. Like the people I get in fights with vegans. Any vegans here? With all the cheese curds, none of you starve and you're fucking vegans and this now. No, it is, because they're all liars, man. They are, they're all liars. Like, I don't know, is this a big farming state? Yeah. Do you guys have vegan activists over here?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. You're a vegan activist?
I'm not an activist.
Oh, you just, when I asked if everyone was vegan, you just decided to be completely quiet. Just so I could sit in the eerie silence. No, I mean, vegans are cool. I just don't like vegan activists. Because like in Australia, we have a big problem with them. Because they'll go to a farm, they'll steal a lamb, and they'll go on the news the next day. Oh, we didn't steal this land, we liberated this land, we're the voice of the voiceless, we speak for those who can't speak for themselves. And I'm there just watching it. Just admit that it's fun stealing stuff. Like anyone here steals? No one here with a 5-finger discount? Oh, where are the things? Oh, you got your hands in your pockets, bro. What do you got in your... I'm not sure, bro. Do you steal?
He just steals hearts.
You might have to hit me up after the show and give me some tips, bro. Has anyone ever told you you look like Tim Allen's co-host in Home Improvement? Stand up and let everyone see you. Let everyone get the reference. 30-year-old TV references. That's the audience I've got. No, I used to steal all the time, man. There was a supermarket in Australia called Action, and I robbed that place into oblivion. Like, for real, I stole everything that I didn't need. Like, I've still got like 20-year-old tampons in my house. But no, I do love it over here, man. It's but vegans are all liars, man. They are. Like, when I left Australia, there was like this whale that died. It washed up on shore because it had all this like rubbish in its stomach. And they're all on the news like, oh, how sad. How sad that this whale died. Oh, how sad. Is it? Like, how do we know it wasn't just like one dumb fat whale? You know, how do we know the other whales weren't like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't eat all that shit? And he's just like, oh, I know I'm terrible. It's weird that I get the same questions that a whale does. It's weird. I do love it over here in America, man. I do. I love it over here. The one thing that I really don't like about America is your news. Does anyone here like still pay attention to the news here? No, it's the fuck up. I stopped watching American news when I saw a New York Times article that said Bert and Ernie are gay. Yeah. Which is a wild thing to see in the New York Times. Because they're not gay. Which is a wild accusation as well. Because it's like, they're just two dudes living together and no women come to their house. Doesn't make them gay. It means they're ugly. And don't get me wrong, I love Bert and Ernie as much as the next man, but like, when you're walking around with a butt plug for a head, you can't expect pussy to be knocking down your fucking door, you know what I'm saying? The crazy thing, this is a genuine New York Times girlfriend, rumors have been circulated for years about the sexuality of Bird and Ernie. Who the fuck is spreading rumors about Bird and Ernie? Fucking Oscar the Grouch? Like, how did that rumor even get started? Nah, for real, I saw Bird fucking Ernie in a kid suit. And the whole time all I could hear was, who's my rubber ducky? Who's my rubber ducky? Oh, shit. The other thing, I can't get into politics over here. I don't get politics because you guys went fucking buck wild with your politics for a couple of years, man. But it's the one thing I don't get, like with Trump, is like, did you guys took a shot at Ronald Reagan? You guys know that story?
Yep.
Current affair stuff. That's what I'm bringing up. No, they took a shot at Ronald Reagan. You guys know why? Because there was a dude who was infatuated with Jodie Foster. And he thought, to impress Jodie Foster, I'm going to shoot the president. And then I'm back in Australia and I'm watching news all about, oh, Trump is the worst, Trump's a monster, Trump's this, Trump's that. But no one took a shot at him. Which just tells me one thing, America. Chivalry is dead in this country. I don't know. Is Trump your guy or the other one? Neither? Moving on. Alright, I feel I lost you with, are you Trump or?
I'm silent.
Alright. This relationship's on the rocks already. Shit. We'll see if I can. Because America and Australia, we're very similar, man. We are. But I'll try to see, because you guys are in Milwaukee. Did you guys ever play the game called Pop? Great. Pop, P-O-P. Pedophile Park. Alright, I guess this was just an Australian game, alright? Or did you play it and you just keep me in silence again? No, I'll explain how the game worked, right? It was like when you're a kid and you used to have to walk home from school and a car would pull up next to you and you had that split second to decide whether that guy was a pedophile or just parking. It was a weird game. It was a weird game because you only had to lose once for it to stop being fun. No, Carly MC, give her a big round of applause, man. That was No, Carly was talking about how she's all back on the dating apps and stuff. I'm back on the dating apps as well because trying to get that green card. But I started in Australia and I matched with a chick in a place called Tammin, which is it's one of those towns. It's like one of those side of the road towns on your way to a less shitty town. So I went there and I matched with this girl, and she was 45 minutes late to the date. 45 minutes late, and I'm at the Tammin bar. And I'm thinking, fuck, she better get here in the next 60 to 90 minutes, otherwise I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know, I got a little thing called dignity, you know? And she came and she was 45 minutes late to the date, up to the gills on meth. Like, she was absolutely cooked. Like, you know when people are that cooked, they start getting that nang-nang face? You know, like, nang-nang-nang-nang-nang. Like, this chick was cooked. Like, she was crazy. Like, the first thing she said to me was, have you ever had to put an axe through a dying cow's head? Yeah. And I'm thinking the same thing you guys are thinking. I don't know what the fuck that means, but that sounds sexy as hell. Because she was, man. Like, she was high on meth, and I'm not talking that nice, clean city method like Lindsay Lohan used to do. I'm talking that filthy, disgusting country method like Lindsay Lohan does now. And like, we're having dinner, man, you know, we're sitting there, she's saying inappropriate shit, you know. She was like, oh, I love how your nipples show through your shirt. Get off my back, man. And this was a rough town. It was a rough town. Like, I ordered spaghetti bolognese, and they gave me meat goreng with beef jerky. Like, it was a bad town. And, like, she's flirting with me, you know. And, like, I know she's keen on me because she's giving me that sexy eye. You know, that sexy, the one you're giving me now. You know, she's giving me that sexy eye. Because her other eye was still going, no. She was fucking cooked, you know. And then finally she just came out and said, it was like, hey, do you want to come back to my place and hook up? And I'm like, oh, no. I didn't want to be a jerk about it, so I just thought of the first thing I could think of. I was like, nah, I gotta go home and put an axe through a top. Yeah, that's a sad story. It's a sad story because we've been still going steady for about 6 months now.